Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. And yes, we are going to get kicked off with the training this today. You know, me and Michelle do this every Wednesday morning. And if you're catching it live, awesome. If you're catching the recording, awesome. We love being able just to share tips that we know can help you become disruptive in your business because we're actually utilizing them and we're also talking to ourselves. And so something me and Billy were talking about earlier, and then me and Michelle were talking about it on our via text message, and that is, for me, I'm gonna kick it off today, and for me, my part is gonna be about being yourself. That's the first thing I want everybody to learn how to do. Be yourself. I can't be Michelle, and I can't be Billy, I can't be Marlene, and I can't be anybody else, but I can be myself. I can, it's kind of like I've heard so many great presenters share this business opportunity to people or the products to somebody, like Dr. Crystal share with somebody, but I'm not a doctor. So I don't go into or get on the phone or get into a Facebook Messenger or Instagram Messenger or a text message or anything like that and try to throw all these big words at people trying to make me feel smart. No, I just be myself. I'm It's all right to give somebody else credit. And what I mean by that, it's okay to say, hey, yeah, well, there's a team of doctors led, one, Deanna Latson is our chief product officer, and she's put together a team of doctors that have developed the cleanest products. And I feel confident about that. It's okay to say that. It's okay for you not to feel like you have to be an expert, because what I'm seeing is a lot of people feel that they have to be the expert. They have to know this. Me and Michelle know the conversation play in and out, because one of the things we did when we merged over, we were talking like, hey, how this work? How this work? But what I realized was it's too complicated. I'm not a genius like Fred Cooper. So I don't need to know all of that. But I can show you, hey, how you can maximize this compensation plan. You can maximize it by going and find 4 people, getting gold and ultimate. You can unlock get unlimited earning potential up front, and in the long run, the goal will help you out with the matching bonuses. So I can use those type of things, and that's what I want you to understand is just be yourself. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to be an expert. If you are a doctor, great. That's your profession. You went to school. You got that doctor in front of your name. You deserve it. For me, I'm just gonna be the person who points you to that person. And that could be you too. And that's what I'm saying. Just be yourself. And that was something I just wanted people to understand. And it's similar also when you're losing weight. Some people lose weight faster than others. It's just, to be honest. Men probably are going to lose weight faster than women. That's just, to be honest too. It's just the way the way God created our bodies, is that's the way that happens. But I don't want you to be discouraged because somebody's losing weight faster than you. See, it's kind of like the tortoise and the hare, it's kind of like, hey, you could start off real fast. So me and Billy were talking about a marathon. Me, I'm the type of person want to jump out there, and Billy come trotting on by later on down the road because I didn't pace myself. But it's the same thing with you being yourself. See, you just got to be yourself. And then my next topic I wanted to share with you guys is following up, because fortune is in the follow up, you guys. And that's just, to be honest, if you really want to grow a business here, if you really want to build a customer network or a business network of any kind, get any kind of duplication going, then you have to learn to follow up. You have to learn to follow up. Mostly, if I asked everybody on this call, did they sign up on day one? We'll all probably say no, because I know I didn't. I didn't sign up the first day. It took me 2 weeks because I had to wait till I got paid again to do it. But that's what I'm saying. Like, the fortune was in the follow up. My friends didn't follow up with me. They followed up with me like I told them I would get paid. They followed up with me in like 48 hours, because you never want to not follow up with somebody. And so it's some concepts I took from Eric Worre, and I always use them, and they always stick in my head. So that's why they come so natural. So I just wrote them down, and I was like, you know what? Let me just give it to them like this, because when you following up, it's the very key opponent to it is doing what you're saying you're going to do. So if I was talking to Michelle and Michelle, I shared the products with her, or shared the opportunity, or both with her, or quick, or whatever part I wanted to share with her. If I told her I was going to follow up today at 10 o'clock, well, at 10 o'clock, she needs to be having a phone call. Not at 10:05, not 10:10. I said 10 o'clock. See, because one thing I know about people that we are sharing with, Michelle loved the way Robin shared with, because Robin was, I'm pretty sure Robin was persistent and consistent. And she also valued her time. Like and that's what you got to realize. You want your friends and your family that you're sharing, your whatever you want to call them, that, hey, his time is valuable, her time is valuable. I got to respect their time. And so just do just that. So do what you say you're going to do. So if you're going to call somebody at that time, be there. If you got a lunch appointment at 10:30, well, be there at 10:20. There's nothing, because if you're not early, you're late. That's what my coach used to always tell me. If you show up at 10 o'clock or 10:30 and practice at 10:30, you're late. So you show up 10 to 15 minutes earlier, and that's all I can encourage you to do. Get ready for your call right beforehand, because then also what that does is that shows the other person that, hey, he or she is taking this very seriously. And then the second concept is, the only reason you're following up, or the only reason you're having the presentation, is to set another presentation. We all just agree pretty much that majority of the people don't sign up the first time. So never end the presentation, never do a follow-up call without setting up the next one. Even if they join, you need to be setting up a day where y'all can sit down and do the getting started training. Even, Michelle says, well, I know I said I'll watch the video, but I've been so busy with life, the kids, I had this to do, I had this to do. Oh, I understand, Michelle. Well, when would you be for sure that you'll be able to check it out? If I called you back, Thursday at or tomorrow's be Thursday. I never do the day after they already been busy. I say, hey, if I call you Friday around the same time, 10 o'clock, would that work better for you? See, I always get in them, okay, because we all know life gets in the way. And so you just gotta, don't ever get mad when somebody tells you that they didn't get to watch your video or check out the PDF you sent them, or jump on the Zoom that you invited them to. Just say, oh, I totally understand. It was a great one. You missed it. If it was a Zoom or in-home party, I always say, I don't care if one person showed up. It's always great. I don't care if it was just a training. Speak life into your business, not death. That's a whole nother subject, but and then again, it takes the average of 4 to 6 exposures for somebody to join. That's the average. So how many times can you expose? You use the tools. There's all different types of tools that you can have. You can always have them ready. If I was talking to Michelle and Michelle mentioned weight loss, or she mentioned wanting to better her health, okay, well, in my mind, okay, Lima Original, Noni, and Mobile, that's the ones that for better health, Slender Rise. I got these PDFs to the side, waiting on her afterwards. Not the first day, because get this, after the first day, they overwhelmed. If they didn't join that day, they're overwhelmed. They're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just heard about these amazing products. It's an amazing opportunity. Okay, well, in 24, 48 hours, I'm sending a PDF of some kind, a video maybe from my app. But I'm not sending all of them. Michelle's only going to get the Limu on Friday. And then turn around on Sunday, Michelle, I forgot to tell you, here's a PDF on Noni I want you to check out. Or here's a video of Billy utilizing the Slender Rise drops and taking his physique to the next level. See, you got to, it's just a posture, but you don't want to vomit on somebody. We all done that before. Trust me, we've all done it. And then part 4 is when you do your follow-ups, be busy. Always be busy. When you're doing the follow-up, this is not another time for you to spend 30 minutes with them. This is a time for you to spend 5 minutes with them, 2 to 5 minutes, and getting off the phone. You respect. One, you want them to respect you. Oh, okay, well, I understand why. I have some other friends that was very, very interested and they want to know about it. So I'm going to give you a call back on, is Friday a good time? And just understand that, hey, you're busy, because one thing we as people, we don't like to be left out. So as soon as you take it away from them, you pretty much took it away from them, like, hey, you told me you were going to do something. You didn't do it. It's okay. I'm not mad, but I have other people I have to call that is ready to take advantage of this. Trust me, it will rub off on them, and they're going to think about it. And then the last part, when you follow up, you're going to get questions and you're going to get obligations. Guess what? Objections, not obligations. Objections. You're going to get questions and objections. So what do you do there? Again, you need to have your tools handy. Well, you know what? I'm not the expert on that. So I've already let Billy know that Michelle was somebody I was about to call who's ready to take her physique to the next level. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to call Billy and say, Billy, would you be available for a three-way? If Billy wasn't, I'll find me somebody else. It doesn't have to be one specific person. If you can tie it around to what they're looking for, that's always better, because they can relate to the other person, a coach with a coach, a teacher with a teacher, X, Y, and Z. But having your tools ready will help you in the follow-up process, you guys. And just, it'll also keep it short and sweet. Again, you don't have to go into explanation of everything that the water bottle does. You know what? Hey, I know you're interested in this water bottle. What I'm going to do is, if you don't mind, I'll send you a PDF where you can read up on it yourself. If you don't mind, I'll tag you in a video in the Level Up community where you can watch about the water bottle itself, and from some doctors that help create it, and their and so different things like that, you guys. And just keep being yourself, but not overdoing it. Just being short and sweet. And I promise you will get more sales, more people saying, hey, I want to be a part of what you're doing. Hey, how can I get that product? Hey, how can I be a part of the team? Because you didn't vomit on them. And then also they're looking at themselves, because you got to always remember the people you're sharing with are asking themselves, can I do this? Do I want to share this with my fans and family? That's what's going through their head. So if the more short and sweet you are with everything, and the more you put tools in them, now when the objections come up, you can say, hey, when they do say, because they're going to say, well, I don't know if I can do this. Well, and then you can ask them, like, well, what did I do? Well, you sent me a video, you added me to a Facebook group, you put me on the phone with somebody. I was like, see, I didn't, you don't have to be a doctor to do this. All you got to do is just can you do what I just did? And then it allows them to say, hey, you know what, I can. So that's my portion. Be yourself in the follow-up. And now I get to pass it to my amazing friend. She's awesome. And she's going to, dive into her side. And I hope you got your pen and paper ready for it. You don't have to take my notes, but at least you got to take her notes for sure.
So I love this topic, and being able to just give people little bits of information at a time, and doing that intentionally is important. And I have, on a couple of occasions, overestimated where my contacts position was in terms of their readiness, their understanding, their ability to jump into it. And in overestimating where they are, or underestimating, perhaps overestimating, thinking that they're ready for more than they're actually ready for, I have ended up compromising someone who would have been really great, because I gave them too much too fast, because I assumed that they were in a position where they were ready to jump in. They had a mental handle on what we're doing and how we do it. And so I sat down with them and I gave them all the stuff, like all the info and all the stuff. And I went through all the products, and it's too much. Even if you think that they might be interested in all this stuff, just give them a little bit, and intentionally take that conversation in stages and give them information in little bits. let them ask you for more when they're ready. Because, and I'm thinking of one gal in particular who I was so excited, like she was going to be the perfect fit and we were going to work together. And, you know, she was a trainer and we had, you know, this great chemistry together. Like, and we sat down and we talked about all the ways that we can help people to reach their goals. And I'm thinking, this is awesome. She's fired up. She's ready to go. And I gave her way too much information too fast. And what I discovered was that her perception was that she had to do the same thing, that she had to know all the things I knew. She had to have a mastery of all of the products and what do they do. And she just completely froze. And it's been almost a year and a half, and she still has not taken one step to do this because I overwhelmed her. And that's on me. That's my fault. And so the other side of that is, you know, if you're calling people who maybe they're cold contacts, maybe you're calling leads, and they're going to want information, and even people who are warm market, and you're calling them and saying, you know, I'm really excited about something and I'd love to share it with you. They're going to say, well, what is it? Tell me about it. And the tendency, because we care about people and we don't like to get strung along and we like to have our questions answered, the tendency is to fully answer their question. Well, if you're talking to somebody who has no idea what you're doing, it's our responsibility to make sure that how we share with them is duplicatable. Can they look at that? You know, and even if you are a good friend and you want to answer their question, say to them, I don't want to do it any injustice, and I can't verbally communicate it in just a few, you know, short minutes. And I don't want to take away from what you might gain from it. You know, however that feels, to be able to say that, to communicate, I want to give you the information and I want to do right by you. And then give them a tool, give them a video, send them a resource. Because even if you have the time and you're willing to sit and answer those questions and to talk through things with them, you want to do it in such a way that when you get to the end of the process and they're ready to go, they can, you know, you can say to them, can you do what I just did for you? Because even if you have all the info and you know it all inside and out, you know the comp plan and you know the products and you know the ins and the outs of all of it, your new person's not going to. And so I was in a different company years ago, and we did jewelry. And they did a presentation, you know, with it. And there were like these little note cards that they encouraged us to use to go through the whole little presentation at the party. And I hated those note cards. I'm like, I can do that so much better. Like, I don't need note cards. Thank you very much. And what I realized today in hindsight is that those note cards were not about me. Those note cards were not about the presenter and do they need them to keep themselves on track. Those note cards were for the brand new person sitting on the couch in that home party, looking and going, is that something I could do? Oh, she's just reading off her cards. Like, I can do that. And I completely missed the opportunity. Like, I missed the point entirely because I pride myself in being good at what I do, whether that's pictures, whether that's new age and knowing our products and our comp plan at that time, whether it was the jewelry. Like, I take pride in doing what I do well and being seen as competent. But what I didn't realize is that I was making other people feel like there's no way I can do that. And that's a hard thing to admit. Like, my desire to be good at what I do and taking that to an extreme made other people feel less than. And I don't like that. I don't like how I feel about that. And so, I have the opportunity now to recognize that and change it. And I can still be competent, and I can still be very good at what I do. And I can still know the information and the details, but I don't have to throw it at somebody in such a way that they feel like, I don't know all of that. And I don't know if I can know all of that. So probably I shouldn't do this. It's like when we teach our kids, how to read. We have to start with the building blocks, the little pieces, and give them a little bit to digest. And as their brain wraps around those little pieces and those building block chunks, then we can give them more. And so as we do that, be patient with the process. And also, I recognize this, in my photography business and interactions with clients, and it's the same here. Think about times when you have sent someone a resource, you've reached out, you've sent them a message, they said they'd get back to you and they didn't. Think about how that made you feel as the person sending the information. Now I want you to flip the roles and think about a time when somebody, like you reached out to somebody or somebody contacted you about something that you truly were interested in, and they sent you some information, but so did 10 other people. Your electric company had something for you, your insurance, you've got appointments with the kids, parent-teacher conferences, you've got a dentist appointment, you've got all of these things that are coming at you from all of the different aspects of life. And you drop the ball on getting back to that one person. You're interested, but you got a lot going and you drop the ball. Now, do you appreciate that person getting an attitude and being like, well, why didn't you get back to me? Or maybe they assume, well, because they didn't get back to me, they're not interested. So bye. They drop off. When truly you were interested, you just are dealing with life and a lot of different things. And so it's easy as the professional sending information or reaching out to a prospective client or team member to feel like the thing you're sending is a priority. It's a priority to you, to me, when I send those things out. When I'm sending client correspondence where I need them to sign a service agreement and take care of an invoice, like that's important. And to me, it's a big deal and I need it taken care of. But to them, they've got me and they've got the dentist and they've got the electric and that all the way down the line. So as the professional, it's our responsibility to follow up professionally and kindly, realizing that people have a lot on their plate. I had a friend of mine a little while back over the summer. She had something, a product that she repped that I wanted. And I had reached out, asked for info. She sent it to me. I got crazy busy. I legitimately straight up forgot. I totally forgot about it. It wasn't that I wasn't interested or didn't want to do it. I just forgot. And so she was remarkably persistent in the most professional and understanding way. I can't even tell you how much I appreciated that. And it was a good example for me to remember that people have life happening. And what might be my top priority is not their top priority, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't matter to them. So when we can reach out professionally and be professionally persistent, reach out in kindness and say, first of all, a lot of times I will check in and just say, hey, are you okay? I sent that info and I hadn't heard anything back from you. And that's not normal for our interaction. Is everything all right? Like communicating your care and concern for them as a person to make sure that something horrible hasn't happened in their life should come first. And then you can, follow up. And people really appreciate that. And sometimes people won't always know what's the next step. So we have to guide them. We have to sometimes ask them very directly, are you ready to start? What other questions do you need answered so that, so that you can begin this process? Anthony talked about how Robin would follow up with me, and she did. But finally, the turning point where I finally made the decision to get started was because I had been putting her through the ringer with all the questions. And she just straight up asked me, do you want to give it a try or not? And I was like, fine, I'll do it. and so, be professional, be persistent, care about people. And as you follow up with them, communicate that care and concern. And sometimes life is happening in a way that now is not the time to continue the conversation. And that's okay. Care about them as people more than you care about whether or not they get started here. Because even if what we have here is something that can help them in their wellness, that can help them with the very thing that life is throwing at them right now, maybe it's inflammation, maybe it's illness, maybe it's immune issues. And what we have might be the thing that can help them. But if they're in a place where they're so overwhelmed by that, today might not be the day to help them start that. And we need to be aware of those things and having conversations that are authentic so that we know where people are at, so that we can gauge how we interact with them. Because if someone's so overwhelmed with life in this moment, I don't need to add something else to their plate. Even if I think it might help them, I don't need to add to their stress and their overwhelm. And when we take the time to understand where they are, where they're coming from, and what they're dealing with, and adjust how we interact with them accordingly, we're going to earn their respect as people and as professionals. And they will be far more likely when that period of time or that season of overwhelm comes to a close, where they can reach out and say, you know what, I'm still interested in that. And I so appreciate the fact that you respected where I was at. Let's sit down and have a conversation. So that's what I had this morning, Ant. And I hope that it was valuable and kind of tied into what you had going this morning. And I'll let you close us out.
It was awesome. Like always, Michelle. Like always, I got my notes. I hope you took some notes. And I've already gotten a text message or two asking for the recording because they would like to go back and re-listen to it. And so that's all we want to do is we want to show you how to be disruptive in your business. We got so many amazing tools that continue to come out, the New Age Share app, the quick tool that we get to use to generate more things for us. All I can tell you is, just continue to plug in. Me and Mr. Runny talked a few minutes beforehand as well. We just gotta, get out there to try some things, be willing to mess up, be willing to be bad before you're good and good before you're great. And that's all I really can say is you're not going to be perfect. You don't have to know everything, but, get out there and share with some people. Continue to learn in the process. If you aren't, one of the things I encourage everybody to do is go join the 7-day recruiting Go Pro challenge. It's free. All you got to do is just join in. The recordings are up there for, they actually going to leave them up for longer than 24 hours, but I encourage you to just go through and grab you some nuggets. That's all I'm doing. I may be a little busy, not all the way tuned in, but I may listen and be like, you know what, let me write that down. Let me put that in my notes and I can come back to it and rewatch it. So I'm actually going to rewatch the yesterday's right now and just to kind of dive back into it one more time. But that's what you got to do. Treat it like a business. You don't have to go get a big old degree for this. You don't have to go to school for 4 years, 8 years, 12 years. You don't have to do that to be successful here, but you do want to develop the skills so you can become better, so you can grow the business that you want for you and your family. And so that's all we're going to do is continue to come share nuggets every week, 30, 35 minutes of your time. And so, hey, love you guys. And we'll see y'all again next Wednesday. and I'll unmute the line so y'all can tell her, Michelle how awesome she always is.